Good morning, all of you. Are you listening me? The PPTs are visible or not? Okay, let's start. Today's topic is quality control in the biochemistry lab. Okay, today's topic is quality control in the biochemistry lab. What is the purpose of the quality control in the biochemistry lab? The purpose of the quality control in the healthcare system to correct the diagnosis of the disease and they identify the factors that are responsible for the disease. Okay, the purpose of the quality control to the healthcare system to correctly diagnose the disease and identify the factors that are responsible for the disease. Okay, now what is the quality? Quality can be defined as a measure of the excellence, or the quality may be defined, it is the conformance of the requirement of the users and the customers. It is a state of being free from defects and deficiency. So this is the quality. Now what is the quality control? The quality control is maintained to the quality of the laboratory during the analysis of the test. Okay, it is maintained the quality of the lab that gives the reliable results of the sample and that is useful to the doctor and the consultant for the further diagnosis. So quality control concerns the control of the errors in the performance of the test and verification of the results. We also call that quality control. We also call the quality control is refers in the medical lab to making sure the lab is running smoothly, safely and effectively without any errors. The aim of the quality control, the first aim of the quality control is reliable test of the laboratory, and the another aim of the quality control is the another aim of the quality control is the results from the one lab should be compared with another lab by the same method. Means the results that we get and the results when we compare of the our results from the another lab that are the same. This is the main aim of the quality control. The components, there are mainly 4 components that are correlated with the quality control. These components are accuracy, precision, sensitivity and the specificity. Now first we discuss about the accuracy. Okay, What is the accuracy? What is the accuracy? Accuracy is defined as a closeness of the value that obtained to the reference value. There are mainly two values. First one is reference value, second is measured value. Reference value is a true value and measured value is a obtained value or the value that we get after the test. Okay, so in the accuracy, how we get the true value? How we get the true value or closer of the true value and the closer of the value, that is measured value. The example of this accuracy, suppose the true value is 100, okay, and the observed value is 95, then the results are not accurate. Okay, if the true value is 100 and the observed value that we can measure, that is 99 or 100, then the results are accurate. Second is precision. What is the precision? It refers to the responsibility of the results, but a test can be precise without being accurate. Okay, what is the precision? Suppose here also true value or the reference value and the measure value, that is obtained value. If true value or reference value is 100, when we analyze the sample and get the measured value is 95, again we repeat the sample to analyze and again we get 95 or 94, then the results are precise but it is not accurate. Why? Because the main value or the reference value is 100, but we get the value that is 95 measured value, that again we get the 95 or 94, so the results are precise but not accurate. The test value which can be get should be closer to the previous one, that is precision. Here you can difference between accuracy and the precision. This is the target value or this is the main value or true value. When we analyze the samples and we get this measured value or the results are precise but not accurate, means if we done the sample 2 and more times and the values are same, the condition is called precision. And here you can see precise and accurate. The results or the measured value are same as the true value or the reference value. So it is called precise and the accurate. Here you can see the results are not precise and nor accurate. These are the values or the results that are not precise and not accurate, so it is called bias result. Now what is the reliability? The ability to maintain both precision and the accuracy. It is called reliability. Here you can see the reference value and the observed value are the same, so our results are precise as well as accurate, so it is called reliable results. Another two terms are sensitivity and the specificity. What is the specificity? Specificity is the ability of the test to discriminate between the similar substances that is intends to measure. I can explain this from the example of the specificity. Suppose in a sample or in a serum sample we can identify the proteins, so we get the total proteins, okay, but we can the total proteins by the biuret method, okay, but we can specially measure the albumin proteins that is present in the sample. So for the albumin we can done bromocresol dye test, okay. So for the albumin bromocresol dye, okay, but for the protein or for the biuret test, so it is the specificity of the protein that is albumin and the test is bromocresol dye test, okay. So specificity is the ability of the test to discriminate between the similar substances that is intent to the measure. Another example of the specificity is from the blood sample we can detect many type of sugars, but specially we can detect the glucose by the test of glucose oxidase peroxidase method. So this is the specificity. Now what is the sensitivity? Sensitivity is the ability to the test to estimate amount of the substances present in the sample. So what is the sensitivity? If in the sample, if very minute amount present of the substance that we can be detect by the test, it is called the sensitivity, okay. The another definitions of the sensitivity and specificity assay or is the fraction of those with a disease that the assay correctly predicts, and the specificity of an assay or the fraction of those without a disease that the assay correctly predicts. So these are the four terms of the quality control: sensitivity, specificity, accuracy and the precision. There are many objectives to control the quality system of the quality control or the lab. These objectives are to prevent the risk, to detect the deviation, to correct the errors, improve efficiency of the staff, and reduce cost of the test. How we estimate the quality of the lab? We can improve or we can establish the quality of the lab by many things. First one is organizational structure of the staff. If we had well organized staff, the quality control is maintained. The responsibility of the correct documentation, the procedures and the processes by which we can establish a quality of the laboratory. There are many types of error. Error means mistakes that happen via person, via sample or via instrumentation in the laboratory. There are mainly two types of errors: random errors and the systematic errors. Random errors affects the imprecision, and the systematic errors refers by the inaccuracy. What are the random errors? Random errors included the errors in the pipetting or changing in the incubation period or due to the many other reasons. The systematic errors may be included by the factors such as variation in incubation temperature, blockage of the plate washer, changes in the reagents and many more. There are 6 components of an error that is detected by the system. Number 1 is patient identification, sample collection or handling. Second one is analytical method. Third one is instrumentation maintenance. Fourth is control material. Fifth is quality control monitoring, and sixth one is clerical. So these are the systems by which we detect the error and correct it. This is the differences between the systematic error and the random error. Random errors are unavoidable errors and the systematic errors are avoidable errors due to the controllable variables is a measurement. There are mainly two components of the quality control, that is the internal quality control and the external quality control. What is the internal quality control? It is based on the monitoring of the biochemistry test procedure that is performed in the laboratory. It is a statistical analysis day by day of the lab, obtained results from the test which has been routinely carried out. Okay. The internal quality control, we can check the precision and the accuracy of the results, and the tests are reliable or not. The tests are reliable or not. This is the reliable test we can check on the daily basis. By the internal quality control, we can determine the reproducibility of the result. For the quality control, we can use many type of control materials. They are the solution, lyophilized material or the artificial material. The concentration of these control materials are the known, and they are also prepared in the laboratory by using pooled sera. Pooled sera means when there are many number of the sample, and we collect it and form the pooled sera. Okay, by the help of these control materials, we can maintain internal quality of the lab. It may be frozen, freeze dried or chemically preservative. It is available in large quantity, but we can store the control materials in a very small liquids and used regularly for maintain the quality of the lab. By the help of the control material, we get the value, and from this value we calculate the mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variance, and determine the range. What are the range and what are the value? The value is a particular value, that is 50, 10, 100, etc. And the range, that is 10 to 15, 95 to 100, it is the range. Okay. By the help of the control materials, we can develop the LJ charts or the plot results. There are some statistical method by which we can plotted the many control charts for the quality analysis. These statistical methods are mean, standard deviation, and coefficient variance that is used in the LJ chart. Accuracy, that is we can get the Best-Card multi-rule chart, and the precision by the cumulative control chart. In the laboratory you can generally hear the main words mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, range, etc. So what is the mean? Mean is the calculate average of these values. Standard deviation is standard deviation is deviation of the value from the mean is called standard deviation. By the help of the mean and standard deviation, we can create a range. Suppose the mean is 50, okay, and the standard deviation is 2. then what happened? The range is 48 to 52. The range is 48 to 52. The standard deviation is added and divided by the mean range. If the mean value is 50 and standard deviation is 2, then the range is 48 to 52. How we calculate the standard deviation? It is calculated by the square root of the average square deviation from the mean. Here you can see in the general laboratories we can use plus minus 2SD criteria limits of the acceptance of the range for the test. Like if the mean value is 50 and SD is 2, okay, then the range, that is 46 to 54, it is the acceptable range for a test. ठीक है. LJ now come on the charts, that is control chart, Levy-Jennings chart, that is LJ chart, mainly introduced into the clinical laboratory by these two scientists. It is a single control value that are plotted directly. How the LJ charts? First, you can see here, this is the LJ chart. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. On the x-axis, we can enter the dates or we can enter the number of the samples, and here this is the range. On the very first day, we can use the control material and we get the value is this. This is the mean value, this is the first 1 SD, this is the 2 SD, and this is the 3 SD. Generally, in all the laboratories, in all labs, 2 SD results are the acceptable. So this is the day 1 control material value, this is the day 2 control material value, this is the third one value. So monthly we put the mean value of the control material and we get this chart, that is LJ chart. This is the graphical representation of the LJ chart. It is very useful for the internal quality of the lab. It is very useful for the internal quality of the lab. Best-Curd rule apply on the LJ chart, generally used where 2 label of the control materials are analyzed per run. 2 labels of control material means there are 2 types of control material that we can use in the lab. These are the 6 rules that applied on the LJ chart, and we get the reliable results in the laboratories. Now the external quality control. First one is internal quality control and second one is external quality control. By the internal quality control, we can check the precision, accuracy and the reliable results of the lab And from the external quality control we check the precision lab or the reliable results by the external quality control. External quality control external quality control refers the evaluation of the test results of a particular laboratory by the reference lab that is supply the sample, and we calculate the results. What happen in the external quality control? A central lab or the reference lab. The central lab or the reference lab send us a sample. The concentration of the concentration of the sample known only the central laboratory, but we don't know the concentration of this sample. So the another labs or the peripheral lab collect the sample and analyze the sample and send the reports of the sample to the standard labs or the central lab. If the results are obtained of the peripheral lab same as the reference lab, then the arrangement of the peripheral lab is reliable, or the results are reliable of the peripheral lab. It is called external quality control. So from the internal quality control we get the reliable result on the basis of the by the internal quality control we check the precision and reliable results, and by the external quality control we check the precision and reliable results of the laboratory. Thank you. From the quality control topic only small question asked in the university examination: what is the quality control, or difference between internal and external quality control. Okay. You have any query about the quality control? You have the any query about the quality control? Okay. The next topic is main topic is vitamins. What are the vitamins? Vitamins are the vital nutrients, or these are the organic compounds that are required as a nutrient by the small amount by the organism. Okay. It cannot be synthesized in the sufficient quantity in our body, so we can take from the diet. The main functions of the vitamins are: it acts like a hormones. The another function of the vitamins, it regulate the cell and the tissue growth and the differentiation. Some vitamins act like a antioxidant, that is vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. Some vitamins regulate the mineral metabolism. That the vitamin is vitamin D that regulate the mineral enzymes. Most of the beta complex of the vitamins act as a coenzymes. Many enzymes helps in the formation of many amino acid reactions. Most of the vitamins help in the vision and the collagen formation. So there are many functions of the vitamins. On the basis of the solubility, the vitamins are classified into two categories, that is water soluble vitamin and the fat soluble vitamin. Water soluble vitamin, water soluble vitamins, that is vitamin B and vitamin C, and fat soluble vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin E and K. Okay. Water soluble vitamins further classified into two groups, that is non-beta and the beta complex. Non-beta complex, that is vitamin C, and beta complex further divided on their functions. The difference between water soluble and the fat soluble vitamins, here you can see first it is categorized on the basis of the solubility. Water soluble vitamins and the fat soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins soluble in the water, and fat soluble vitamin is soluble in the fats. Absorption. The absorption of the water soluble vitamin is simple, and the fat soluble vitamins are absorbed with the help of lipids or with the help of chylomicrons. The storage of the water soluble vitamin, it is not stored, it is excreted by the urine. And fat soluble vitamin, it is mainly stored in the liver and it is not excreted. Excess intake, if it is not stored, so they are non-toxic. And fat soluble vitamin, it is stored in the liver. When the storage is high or storage is increased, that it is toxic. Deficiency manifestation generally happened, and in the fat soluble vitamin generally deficiency manifestation not happened. So these are the differences between the water soluble vitamin and the fat soluble vitamins. What you can read in the vitamins, first is chemistry of the vitamin, sources of the vitamin, recommended daily allowances of the vitamins, digestion, absorption and transport, and active form of the all vitamins, functions, deficiency manifestation and hypervitaminosis. These are the main points that you can read from each of the vitamin. So we start from the fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin A. These are the sources of vitamins. The animals and from the plants. The plants or from the mango, the richest sources of the vitamin that are mango, papaya, carrot, spinach and pumpkin. And these are the animal sources of the vitamin A, that is liver oil, cheese, milk, meat, butter, egg. These are of vitamin A. What is the RDA of the vitamin A? RDA means recommended daily allowances by the WHO. For the children, 60 man, it is 750 to 1000 microgram per day. For the women's, it is 750 microgram per day, and in the pregnant lady, it is required 100,000 milligram per day. Now the active forms of vitamin. There are mainly 3 forms of the active form of the vitamin A, that is retinol, retinol and retinoic acid. From the plant sources we get beta carotene, and from the animal sources we get retinoid esters. Beta carotene gives 2 molecules of retinol by the enzyme dioxygenase. Okay, so these are the 3 active forms of the vitamin A: retinol, retinol and the retinoic acid. Retinol is a alcohol derived, retinol is the aldehyde derived, and retinoic acid is the carboxylic derived vitamin A. These are the structures of the different type of active form of the vitamin A: retinol, retinol and retinoic acid. It contain alcohol group, it contain aldehyde group and it contain carboxylic group. This is the structure of beta carotene. By the beta carotene we get 2 molecule of the retinol. It is absorbed with the help of bile salts from the intestine, and it is transported by the help of chylomicron from the intestine to the liver, and it is mainly stored in the liver in retinol. Okay, it is highly active and toxic, so it is generally found in the inactive form, that is retinyl ester. When the retinol or when the vitamin A is required, then it is converted into its active form, that is retinol, and it is transported from the retinol binding protein in the bloodstream. From intestine to the liver, from the intestine to the liver, it is transported by the chylomicrons, generally retinyl esters. Generally it is stored in the retinyl esters, then it is converted into retinol and free fatty acid. This retinol is reesterified and form retinol esters. This retinol esters is accumulated or stored in the liver when we needed retinol, it is released from the liver to the blood by the retinol binding protein. 90% of the vitamin A store in the liver. The functions of vitamin A. There are many functions of the vitamin A. The main function is vision. Okay. For the vision, Mr. George Wald gave a cycle, that is Wald's visual cycle. What happened in this cycle? In the retina, there are mainly two pigments present, mainly two cells are present, that are cones and the rods. Rhodopsin is a visual pigment or the color pigment that is present in the rod cells of the retina. It consists mainly a protein, that is opsin, and the active form of the vitamin A, that is 11-cis retinal. Okay, 11-cis retinal and opsin combine and form the pigment, that is rhodopsin. It is required for the vision. What happened? Generally in the when the light falls, all 11-cis retinal is isomerized in the all trans retinal and opsin is released and opsin protein is released. Due to the conversion of the all cis retinal to the all trans retinal, opsin is released and it is immediately conformational changes to produce opsin and all trans retinols. This opsin the visual pigments are the G protein, this 11-cis retinol lock this opsin this 11-cis retinol lock the opsin, but when opsin is free, then it activate the G protein, that is transducin. This transducin generate the cyclic GMP and this cyclic GMP generate the nerve impulse in the retina, which is transmitted to the visual center of the brain. So opsin remains in the retina and blood stream. It is again isomerized in the cis retinal and this cis retinal is this 11-cis retinal react with the opsin and form the rhodopsin, that is the visual. Some amount of the transretinal is transported into the liver. Here it is converted into the transretinol by the dehydrogenase enzyme. Transretinal is converted into the trans-cis-retinol, and this cis-retinol is converted into the cis-retinal by the dehydrogenase enzyme. Further, this cis-retinal is react with the opsin and form the rhodopsin. So this is the visual cycle. This is the Waltz visual cycle. Next mechanism is dark adaptation mechanism. What happened in the dark adaptation? Bright light deplete the rhodopsin rods. So when a person move from the bright light to the dim light, so there is some difficulty to seeing the things. Why? Just because of the depletion of the rhodopsin. After few minutes rhodopsin is resynthesized and the vision is improved and we can see the things that are present in front of us. So this period is called dark adaptation. In the vitamin A deficiency, the time period of dark adaptation is increased. Why? Just because of the deficiency of vitamin A or just because of the deficiency of rhodopsin. Generally, rods are for the vision in the dim light and cones for the bright light. Cones are also responsible for the vision of the colors. There are main 3 types of cone, that is थोड़ा सा और रह गया क्या वो नहीं चल रहा है? 15 मिनट बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लग गया. कितना टाइम हुआ है? 12:30. There are mainly types of cone, that is synopsin, iodopsin and porphyropsin. These are the responsible for the color. Due to deficiency of this, it leads to color blindness. The another functions of the vitamins, that is growth. Vitamin A is required for the growth and cell proliferation. Due to deficiency of vitamin A, the growth rate is decreased and bones development is slow. In the reproduction, it helps or it is essential for the normal reproduction. Vitamin A act as a antioxidant. The incidence of the cancer as well as it reduce the incidence of the CAD. So it may be helpful to preventing the heart attacks. Are the deficiency manifestation of the vitamin A. First one is night blindness. It is the main and earliest symptom of the vitamin A deficiency. The visual threshold is increased and deficiency of the due to deficiency of the vitamin A, and the dark adaptation time is increased. Another deficiency manifestations are xerophthalmia, keratomalacia. When untreated, xerophthalmia results to softening of the cornea, which is called keratomalacia. Here you can see the keratinization of the cornea, dryness of the glands, dryness of the tear glands. The symptoms included night blindness and the eye irritation. The another disorder is Bitot spot. Grayish white triangular plaque formation on the conjunctiva due to increased thickness of the conjunctiva. Another disorders are psoriasis and acne. These are the causes of the vitamin A deficiency: decreased intake of the vitamin A, malnutrition, cirrhosis of liver. Due to cirrhosis of liver, reduced synthesis of retinol binding protein. Due to nephrotic syndrome, retinol binding protein is excreted by the urine. Due to obstructive jaundice, defective absorption and transportation. So these are the causes of the vitamin A deficiency. Assessment of deficiency or the test of the deficiency of the vitamin A. There are three types of tests. First one is dark adaptation test. Second is retinol binding protein level in the serum and vitamin A level in the serum. The normal range of the vitamin A is 25 to 30 milligram per dl. Now the toxicity of the vitamin A. When we intake more amount of vitamin A, it is stored in the liver. Due to the storage of the vitamin A in the liver, it is enlarged in the children or yellowish skin of the children, but there is no stain of the sclera or the nails. So this is all about the vitamin A. Mainly you just read active form of vitamin A, sources, RDA, functions and deficiency, mainly the Waltz visual cycle. The another fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin D. It is mainly synthesized in the body by the exposure of the UV, and there are some other sources by which vitamin D. Vitamin D is also known as calciferol. The active form of the vitamin D is 125 dihydroxy vitamin D, that is calcitriol. It contains 3 hydroxyl group in the molecule, so it is called calcitriol. From the plants we get vitamin D2 and from the animals we get vitamin D3. Vitamin D2 is ergocalciferol and vitamin D3 is cholecalciferol. Both are metabolic. Sources of the vitamin D. The direct source of the vitamin D is from the sun. From the foods we get vitamin D. The richest source of the vitamin D, fortified milk, It is a cow milk that contain extra vitamin D and vitamin A. Another sources are butter, cheese, egg yolk, liver, fish. So how the body synthesis of the vitamin D? When the exposure of the UV rays on the skin, it on the ninth and break down the bond between the ninth and 10th position, by which the beta ring is open, and after the tautomerization it forms the cholecalciferol. This cholecalciferol is transported in the liver. This cholecalciferol, that is vitamin D3, is transported into the liver, and by the 25 hydroxy by the help of 25 dehydroxylase enzyme, it is converted into 25 dehydroxy cholecalciferol, and it is the inactive form of the vitamin that is stored in the liver. 25 dihydroxy cholecalciferol is transported into the kidney, and here alpha 1 hydroxylase enzyme form the 125 dihydroxy vitamin D. Generally 25 hydroxy cholecalciferol stored in the liver, but the active form is 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol, that is the vitamin D. It is used in the bone formation. It is used for the regulation of the calcium and the phosphorus. Regulation of the vitamin D. The regulation of the vitamin D activity. If the formation of vitamin D is high, if the activity is decreased, these are the functions of the vitamin D. The main function, it is regulate the calcium and the phosphorus level in the kidney and it act on the intestine. In the intestine, retinol binding protein in the intestine, it initiate or it increase the absorption of the calcium ions. So it is regulate the calcium in the body from the kidney or from the renal tubules. It increase the reabsorption of the calcium, and on the bones the mineralization of the calcium. So it regulate the calcium and phosphorus level in the body. The another functions of the vitamin D, these are regulate, these are the promote phagocytosis, induces different immune cells, prevent tuberogenesis or it prevent the tumors. It also prevent the CAD. It is helpful in the myocardial infarction. The another functions are it activates reabsorption of the amino acids, especially proline. It promote ATP formation. Now the vitamin D deficiency, the factors that contributed the deficiency of vitamin D. Vitamin D deficiency. Due to deficiency of vitamin D, there are mainly disorders that are rickets, osteomalacia, rickets in the children.
We're sorry, but some participants may be experiencing temporary audio issues. Our teams are working to resolve this as quickly as possible.
Rickets mainly affect children. The deficiency symptoms are inadequate calcification of the bones, mental retardation, enlargement of the ends of the long bone, enlargement of the head. These are the symptoms of the rickets. It is also called classical rickets. Another deficiency is osteomalacia. It affects of the males. The symptoms are soft and flexible bones, progressive weakness, lower back pain, leg pain and pain in the pelvis. These are the symptoms of the. Another is osteoporosis. The another type of ricket, that is renal rickets. Renal rickets, due to the deficiency height is absent, so vitamin D deficiency occur. The another type of ricket, that is the another type of rickets due to the deficiency of reabsorption of the vitamin D or reabsorption of the calcium ions. So there are 4 types of rickets: renal rickets, osteomalacia and due to renal dysfunction. This is the structure of vitamin D deficiency in the elder. Hypervitaminosis, vitamin D present in the body. The symptoms are calcium and phosphorus, demineralization of bones, renal stones, weakness, weight loss, etc. These are the symptoms. Another fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin K. K means coagulum vitamin. It helps in the process of the coagulation. There are mainly 3 types of vitamin K, that is phyloquinone, that is present in the plant, menaquinone, that is produced from the intestinal bacteria, and the K3 menadione, that is synthetic form. These are the dietary sources of the vitamin A. These are the dietary sources of the vitamin K: cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, egg yolk, liver. The RDA of the vitamin K is 50 to 100. The main function or the clot formation. of the vitamin K, it promotes the strong bone formation, reduces heart disease, it calcium blood, it promote or it maintains blood clotting. Another fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin E or tocopherol. The active form of the vitamin E is tocopherol. The another name of the vitamin E is anti-sterility vitamin. Dietary sources of the vitamin E are vegetables and seed oils, different type of oils that contain vitamin E. The RDA of the vitamin E is 8 to 10 milligram per day. This is with increase in dietary intake of the PUFA. PUFA means polyunsaturated fatty acids. The functions of the vitamin E, there are many functions. The main function, it acts as a antioxidant. It is essential for the membrane structure, or it protects the peroxidation of the RBC lysis. RBC, it prevent the hemolysis. It helps in the synthesis of nucleic acid. It is helpful for the absorption of the amino acids from the intestine. It protects liver from the toxic substances, and it is a antioxidant, so it prevents the cancer as well as E. Vitamin E toxicity, generally it is not happen. So this is the complete lecture about the fat soluble vitamin, that is vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. Thank you.